Welcome back to Gothic Homemaking. Once again, I have my lovely fiance with me today, Miss Mayumi Toyoda.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being here. It is always much better when you're here.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers. Now, if you saw the previous episode of Gothic Homemaking, you will have seen that Mayumi and I have begun our Halloween home decor hunting of the 2021 season. And in that episode, Best Halloween Home Decor of 2021,
Yes.
part one so far,
Yes.
we found some real treats.
Treats! Yummy, 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 yummy.
Not those kind of treats, fool! How do you deal with these guys when I'm not around?
They're my best friends. They only misbehave when you're here.
Is that a fact?
Yes.
I hate you both.
You know.
Well, if you watched that episode, you'll also notice that I'm a touring musician, and that means I travel from city to city and state to state, and that means that I get to go to all of the different locations of a lot of these places where we go Halloween home decor hunting. And as it happens in recent history, well, August 6th to be exact, I performed in Kansas City, Missouri at a club called The Riot Room, which happens to be owned by this beautiful couple, a wonderful man by the name of Dallas, and his wife, Jade the Libra.
Ooh, we love Jade the Libra.
We do, she's one of our favorite YouTubers. So the very next day, after my concert, I had some free time and I went Halloween home decor hunting in Kansas City, Missouri with a very special guest.
Nice.
Take a look.
Today I have an extra special friend to help me with my Halloween home decor, and that's none other than Jade the Libra.
Hey everyone!
She lives in the suburbs and owns a car, which
This is true.
instantly makes
Share
her...
it with my husband. There's a difference.
Well, obviously, but
I'm just kidding.
having a car instantly makes it so much easier to go Halloween home decor hunting, doesn't it? So we're going to Marshall's. We might go to Tuesday morning, and then we're just going to see what else we can find. Right, Mr. Skeleton? Oh, he's facing the other way. He already wants...
Mr. Skeleton, get it together. He wasn't ready.
He already wants to get out.
He's avoiding the guitar.
I should have brought Orville Dedenbacher.
Come on. I know you should have. They would have been best friends in the back. Ah!
Let's go. Let's do it.
Okay, where are we going?
Oh, Marshall's, I guess.
So we masked up and
Going to Marshall's.
we walked in and there was no sign of Halloween, except for this one lonely Halloween vase, which had me thinking...
Is that it?
We searched the store and found these spooky cushions. This one looks like he's modeling for the centerfold of Play Ghoul. His friend was kind of cute too. Ultimately, Jade found a treasure trove that included these mugs that I saw in Hollywood, but only now did I realize that they matched a certain someone's hair. We also saw these bowls, and while I thought the bats looked a little Batman-y, I loved the overall patina of it enough to buy it. They also had one with a lovely haunted house motif. They had golden skulls and velvet skulls and skulls on wine glasses and skulls on mugs. I've noticed this year a trend of selling a little keychain with a mug, which I think is an idea that's as cute as this little bat. This stone cutting board was probably my favorite item in the store. It was really heavy and too fragile to fly with, so despite the fact that it lifted my spirits, I sadly had to say no and goodbye. We both thought this table runner with a skeleton holding a spider was very unique, if kitschy and cute. And speaking of kitschy and cute, they had plenty of these country kitchen Halloween towels. I was telling Jade about how much Mayumi loves these sorts of towels, and Jade said...
You should surprise her and get this.
Yeah.
Voltaire.
So after a little healthy peer pressure...
All right, Mayumi, this one's for you.
Drum roll all the way from Kansas City, compliments of Jade the Libra, your favorite type of kitchen towel.
Qué bonito. Oh, thank you, glue friend. I love it.
Well, as you could see in that Marshall's, there was no sign of Halloween, but we did a little digging and we uncovered some great finds. Unlike when I did a little digging and uncovered Orville. Now that was not a great find.
You see, that's why he misbehaves when you are here, because you antagonize him.
I do not antagonize him. He started it. No, he started it.
Don't make me separate you two.
I wish you would.
Yikes!
Well, after Marshall's, Jade the Libra and I set our sights on Tuesday morning. Take a look. I'd never been to a Tuesday morning before, so I just followed the ghoul who knows best. In we went, and we immediately saw a huge Halloween section. They had skeletal glassware, spooky storage solutions, and other macabre bric-a-brac. On closer inspection, I saw the glassware was actually plastic, and the storage books, while they have really excellent art, were made of cardboard. Now, while they're still great as storage solutions, I just wasn't super sure they'd last very long. If you recall, I found one at Marshall's in a previous episode that was made of wood, and I just didn't think these had the same durability. So I closed the chapter on getting one of these. I will commend the clerk who organized them like they were in a library though, because I thought that was a really novel idea. Now this little fellow is a piece both Jade and I liked, however we both thought it was kind of small. I'll tell you that my lazy bones need a lot more coffee to get me up in the morning that can fit in this tiny skull. I'd be refilling it every 3 minutes. They had plenty of kitschy towels that were all a bit goofy for my taste. Though I will totally admit that I really liked the drawing as well as the color scheme on this one. Jade and I both got excited thinking these were bat wings, but they weren't. Incidentally, she shot her own episode, of course, and it's really great. There's a link to it in the video description below. Check it out. As you can see, our experience at Tuesday morning was exactly the opposite of our experience at Marshall's. At Marshall's, there didn't seem to be any Halloween stuff, and yet we ended up finding some really great things. Whereas at Tuesday morning, there was this apparent Halloween presence and many things to choose from. But ultimately, neither Jade nor myself found anything that we would want to decorate our respective layers with.
Oh.
Now our next stop was Ross. Now before I go on, I do want to say thank you to those of you who wrote in to correct me. In a previous episode, I said that Ross was the sister store of TJ Maxx and Marshall's, and I had heard that somewhere, but I guess that's not true. Apparently, it has no affiliation with those two stores, although TJ Maxx and Marshall's and Home Goods are all affiliated with each other. So now that we got that out of the way, thank you again for the correction. Here we go. Our next stop is Ross, just as things were heating up in Kansas City.
Take a look.
It is 2 million degrees in Kansas City. 2 million degrees. No exaggeration. As millennials would say, it is literally 2 million degrees.
As an elder millennial.
It is literally 2 million degrees.
We escaped the wrath of the big yellow hurdy thing in the sky and took shelter in the local Ross store, which was as cool as an air-conditioned crypt. At first glance, there wasn't a sign of Halloween, and then we saw this tiny little shelf containing these skulls. I really liked the one with the black mask. There were also these bat candelabras that I really wanted to love, but I just didn't like the sculpting of the bat. It looked more like a rabbit to me. Jade didn't like the fact that they were half black and half gold. It's a shame because it's a really great concept. Maybe I'll just have to make one of my own. We saw this curious plaque on a stand, and while I don't normally go for the animated items, I thought these door knockers were pretty cool. I'd absolutely buy them if they were in stone or metal. And speaking of metal, this is wings down, the best item we saw in that store. This item was completely made of metal, which I love. I wasn't completely in love with the fact that there were spiders hanging from it. I really thought baby bats would have been a better choice. Granted, I don't always make the best choices, like for instance, I thought this would make for a great necklace. Now that was some serious bling. I was feeling like MC raised by bats. And what does that make you, Sir Stinks a lot?
Boys, no fighting at home.
Speaking of at home, when you and I went to At Home in Queens, we found a lot of useful items. But they didn't have a lot of their Halloween home decor out yet.
No.
Well, just 1 or 2 weeks later in Kansas City, Halloween was at full tilt, and at home was waving us in. There were plenty of orange Halloween knickknacks and quirky figures to greet us. Jade spotted this little house and we spent far too much time messing with it.
Let's see what it does. Oh, cool. It does
Absolutely
nothing.
nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Let's try the other one. We'll make it happen. Round 2.
Round 2, nothing. This is for the fail blog.
And
Oh,
Hey, no.
nothing at all. All right.
well, not one of them works. So there you go. Wait, what are these? Let's knock it out. You see it? It's very
No.
subtle. It's
Oh, okay.
very
It's
subtle.
flashing in there.
Well, that might have been underwhelming, but rather overwhelming were these huge inflatables. I really love the design of this cat that's, well, the size of my apartment. And if I had a pool, I'd really need this skeletal dragon. Around the corner, there was plenty of Halloween home decor, including some items we've seen at previous locations, as well as my favorite item from last year. This pearlescent skull was giving me some Pirates of the Caribbean vibes, and these gravestones might just be perfect for my cemetery model. We both seemed to like these gargoyles. Of course, there were the oil slick items that I never got into, but I'm sure someone out there loves them. And just around the corner was more classic Halloween. Jade pointed out a framed print she previously purchased. And the Spellbound collection had plenty of skulls. I was green with envy for this incredible snakeskin pumpkin. While it's not my color, I thought this design was on a whole other scale. Then we spotted these mirrors I'd seen in New York City, and upon further reflection, we decided to mirror each other, and we both bought this item. The Spellbound collection continued with velvet pumpkins and tasteful cushions. There were jeweled colored items like these ornaments, which got me to thinking about my Christmas tree for this year, which I think this time is going to be black and white. Well, it was practically Christmas in the Dark Decadence section with all of this sinister statuary. There were novel new pieces and old favorites like this skeleton king on a throne, and even some Halloween hoedown items for creepy cowboys, I guess? We saw that plaque on a stand again. It's just such a strange concept. But hey, it lights up and the sculpture is really great, so I'm gonna stand up for it. I found this candelabra, which I thought would be really great for the lair. There's not much space left at home, so I really appreciate that the arms are so close together. It will make for a great statement piece in a creepy corner of the lair. I thought these lanterns had a sort of Tim Burton look to them, so naturally I loved them. I just wish they had glass instead of plastic, as the plastic sort of cheapened them a bit. Great sculpture though. Well, Jade and I had been hanging around this place for quite some time, so it was time to wrap it up. We braved our way through the Halloween hoedown section and actually spotted this beauty.
How's that hoedown? Tell me where this is a hoedown.
I wish the wheels turned.
Now I just say no to gnomes, but make no bones about it. If you gotta get a gnome, a skeletal gnome is the way to go. Now, that joke might have been a turkey, but I was raving for this Ravenclaw candle holder. And then Jade told me that she had bought one, and that it's actually from the Halloween hoedown collection, and that it's a chicken foot, not a raven foot. Well, pluck me. Well, I guess we're birds of a feather because now we both have one. And these are the 3 items I'd be bringing back in my suitcase to take back to the lair of Voltaire.
The dad jokes were flying in there, by the way. They were flying free. No holding back in there with the dad jokes.
Absolutely.
The goth dad jokes.
That's what I do.
We're going. Let's make no bones about it.
No bones about
There
it.
were
We
some
found
dad-
some good stuff in there. There was some dad jokes flying around. Thank you so much for taking me to At Home.
Of course.
There was so much more stuff
Of course.
than at the place in New York.
Yes.
But I probably went too early.
They had a really good collection in there, better than I've seen at any store so far this year, and I try to stock it weekly.
And some winners from years past, like that Skeleton King and the Throne, and that the crystallized black skull that I got last year.
Yeah.
But thanks again, because
Of course.
I have to take an Uber everywhere that I go to in New York City, so it's such a privilege not only to be able to not Uber it, but to hang out with one of my favorite YouTubers. So thank you.
Likewise, and I think also, I'll gladly be your spooky chauffeur. Anytime you're in Kansas City, it's no big deal.
Excellent.
I'm not like a. I mean, it'd be better if it was Mr. Skeleton driving, but you know, beggars can't be choosers.
He can always do the graveyard shift.
And that was my day with Jade the Libra. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Jade, for taking me to all those stores and doing all of that Halloween home decor hunting with me. I really, really appreciate it. And thank you so much to your husband, Dallas, and both of you really, for having me at your club, the Riot Room in Kansas City. If you guys are ever in Kansas City, you have to check out that venue. They're a lot of fun. They're really good people, and it's a really great establishment. Check it out. You need to come with me next time I go to Kansas City.
Yes, I would love to.
I know you wanted to make it this time and you couldn't, but don't fret. You may meet them after all, because I did tell them both that if they're ever in New York City, they need to stop by the lair.
Yeah, wonderful.
And I hope you don't mind, but I may have invited them to Mexico City. I told them that they should come Halloween home decor hunting with us in Mexico City.
That sounds so much fun. Of course, you're welcome.
It'll be so much fun. No. Okay.